And here we go. Wrestling with Ski. I didn't watch anything big last night. I'm not going to pull out any more, signed stuff or anything like that, even though I very well could. I'm going to wait until I get another batch from Nate's. So I ordered more, so. But, today I figured I'd do a little something different, change it up. How about we talk about, give some good catchphrases that are memorable that, have survived the annals of time. And then a preview for, Smackdown coming up and what we hope is going to happen or what, needs to happen. Just for story wise and stuff. But you look at all the catchphrases and stuff that have survived. Look at all of Ric Flair's, his, limousine riding, jet flying, wheeling, dealing. All that. Look how many people still use that today, whether it's in the rap game or professional and collegiate sports teams, like going around using that and the woo. Look how long, he's been, how many decades now? It is still there. Shows you just how awesome Ric Flair was, and how much, he meant to pretty much the whole entire world. Because that is still going now. And, I even went to Carolina Rebellion, went a lot, but the one year right up front for Sammy Hagar. Dude comes out, there they are in Concord, which is right outside Charlotte, North Carolina, and he comes out in a Ric Flair robe. And they borrowed it from Rick and does a woo. Between Rockstar, everywhere. Ric Flair and all of his, between the robes and the woo. And, everything he ever did, it's still there. Decades later, we don't hear him talking about, limousine riding and kiss stealing. We don't hear that often anymore, but it's still, very much in the pop culture and ingrained in people that grew up during that time. Which shows you just how, impactful and good he was. It is still here, decade. It's not like, some of these that we're going to talk about that have been, a couple, 2 decades plus. Some of them not even that long. Ric Flair's been doing this for, 60 years. It hasn't been 60 years, obviously, but, it's getting close. This is decade after decade he's been running around. And it's still just as important now as it ever was then. When he's still, you barely see him anymore, which is just amazing when you think about it. That gets us back to, it wasn't even like Kurt Angle's catchphrase, but the "you suck" chant. He ended up turning around, embracing it, and loving it. And when he came back the one time from injury, and they were chanting, he didn't care. He led him in an orchestra with it. Just like there at the end. And he finally was done in WWE when he came out as general manager. That thing, stuck with him forever. That people actually do, truly. That's a lot of love and respect that this long later, that they chant "you suck" as a term of endearment and love to you. It's mesmerizing when you think about it. That after all those years, it doesn't go around to everyone else. No one's using it in pop culture or all that, but that is, it wasn't even his. It was just on the back of those pictures that Edge gave him, and lots of people told him that he sucked. You suck. And look at it now, though. Look how beloved that was. He wouldn't miss it for the world. It's amazing. That gets us to, The Rock. You smell what The Rock is cooking. That's the bottom line. Stone Cold said so with him. And then The Rock. Yeah. Know your role. SmackDown Hotel to Stone Cold. What? Those two together, they just kept going back and forth. Granted, The Rock went longer, boots to asses became a real thing. It was trending, there were shirts. But that time frame, just think of The Rock would, have his thing. And there comes Stone Cold. And when you think about it, between all the stuff, that you can't forget Triple H and there. I am the game, there wasn't as big a stuff. Jericho had a bunch. But, look at the one that's still there. Out of that era, how many people could talk? You sucks. Triple H stuff. DX from that time. When DX comes out, they still get it. But, you look today in today's TV, there are times, when we had live crowds, where people would be talking and they would get whatted. Like that thing is still large and in charge this many years later, which made it should put a bigger smile on my face. Like that has survived for forever. Whoever would have known? I mean, especially when you have like if you smell the Rock is cooking at the Smackdown Hotel. I mean, like know your role, shut your mouth. Like there were so many. Triple H being the game. Chris Jericho, the Ayatollah of Rock and Roll, and the Blue Hell. Do you think you are? Like all the ways he did everything. And he came up with this stupid idiot when he was still doing it. He just made the list. Like that was a good one. But the what chant is still like the most predominant now, this many decades later. This is just amazing. How often we don't see, like we know he has the network show and he's on USA with straight up Steve Austin and all that. For how much we see him on the programming to still have those, chants, and with people, it's just, I hope Manias are gonna have people. Please God, like I'm sure they're gonna have all the stops. They're gonna pull them and pull out every single thing they can. I'm sure we're gonna get some what chants, which is amazing. I'm all for it. I mean, call me whatever the hell you want, but what has to be probably like if one for Daniel Bryan and the yes chant, and you see that around like teams celebrating around gyms like that thing took over the world. Like Fandango had his little, that they did that for a little bit. The yes chants, like if it wasn't for what, the yes chant would have to be the most like the biggest one, just from how big it transcended, and everyone was doing it at one point. But we got to wait and see what that's like after Daniel's gone for a while. Will the yes chant? I think the yes chant will still be around. We got to see. Like those two have to be the top two though, because everyone still does what, and everyone still the yes chant all the time. Even people that aren't him. It's not a Daniel Bryan match. He's nowhere near. Still, the yes chants come out. Like, I think that's gonna be just up there with the what, but it's gonna be hard to beat what to me. And what, and then he did stuff with Jericho. Well, Jericho was holding a mic, like the stuff that he did with it was just amazing. And to hear, like when you watch the thing that like he was calling Christian, left this big long voicemail, like said he was just messing around with it. And then boom, look what it turned into. He's just messing around trying to figure it out. I mean, that was amazing. That's just glorious right there. So it does, as much as we remember from the Rocks, the Triple H's, and all the Jerichos and all the great people from back then, it's the number one thing that I think came out. Austin 316 said, I just whipped your ass. What? But what? What is the victor in that situation, I think? With the modern day equivalent being the yes chant. You could try to argue me on it, but there's no arguing it. To me, there's no arguing it. Those two are just transcended everything. All together. They're in their own little world. So, you can argue with me on that one. I'm fully down. Open up the conversation about that. Put a post right on the page on Facebook. I see them all. I'm super stoked. Like that. That's a good conversation. Now we get into, what's going to happen today. Yeah, Smackdown. It's going to be a weird situation, with all the tag teams that are playing for a piece for the SmackDown tag title. So I think, we're going to sadly see a giant, like everyone's in the match kind of thing. Fatal 4-way something. Tornado tag. I don't know. Some kind of eliminator, but for how many teams they have where they could be at play between the Profits, Mysterios, the Alpha Academy. Like, there's so many that have, like, a horse in the race. I think there's going to build up to be some big thing. I don't think it's going to be one-on-one for Mania, and especially just because it's the first one with fans backing over here. I think they're going to go big just to go big, which I'm completely okay with. I just don't want to be the guy in, like, a match with, like, weapons involved or anything, because, just think how jazzed and how juiced they're going to be and just amped for having people for the first time in over here. And they're going to be hitting each other just a little bit extra. The adrenaline's going to be nuts for the first time having that in forever. So I don't want to be that guy, but I think they're going to have them do a thing with that. Have all the tag teams that they've been showing are going to be involved in that. We'll see how they're going to play it out. They only have a few more weeks, so it's not going to be much. Let's see what they're going to do. Hopefully Cesaro comes back so we can build up that something, because I think they could steal the show at Mania with Seth and Cesaro if they give him the time to do it. Because again, Seth's great in the ring. He's come a long way. He hasn't hurt anyone in a while. Cesaro, I think he deserved a better push than he's ever gotten. Like all these other guys have gotten one, just for the sake of it. He deserved it. So hopefully they build something there. They need Bianca and Sasha to really, like, after the slap on Sunday, they need to like put that full tilt to get Sasha full heel and try to get some kind of heat for them. I saw people saying rumors that they wanted them to headline like their night of Mania, but unless they build up like some extra heat and stuff and get that really going, I don't agree with that sentiment. We know it could be a great match. It's going to be a great match. I always said right away I want her to go against Sasha because it'll be a better match. But if they want it to be that, like the fans are saying, like it's probably just a bunch of malarkey anyway. But they really got to do some building if they want that to be the main event at all, of any of the nights. I think they're on night one, like that. It's just them being the way they were, and just a lot of Reginald and one slap. One slap does not. No, not in my opinion, not make it worth the Mania thing. They really got to build that to have a good story and all that stuff behind it if they want to, because they really, to me, haven't done a lot of that. So, I'd like to see what they're going to do with that one. And, the Intercontinental title thing, see what they're going to do for Apollo and Big E for Mania. The ending was botched and all that stuff, but, see what they're going to do with that. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of more dumb promos but in that stupid accent, but they got to turn that thing way up because I think there's a lot of unimpressed people so far with it, so they got to do something to get, interject something into it. Because everyone loves Big E. It's just, Apollo, the accent, the new gimmick. Promos are, to me, not the greatest, but they're not the worst. Like, they need to do something to, like, get people sparked back in, especially after the apparent botch at the end of the night of Fastlane, at the end of the match there, which is why, everything happened. So, they got to build that, but I don't know. But they take the title off of Big E at Mania, as we already know, New Day is going to lose, so I don't know. Hopefully they can build that sub better, because it's just, it's good, but it's not like it's not like fully everyone's got their teeth sunk into it and they're ready to go. To me. I'm sure we're going to find out something about teams for, the women's tag champs between there and Raw. I'm sure that, they're going to have a way where everyone's involved. And now we're not going to have to worry about a team from NXT because they have their own now. But they could have them defend against a team from SmackDown and a team from Raw, and have some triple threat kind of thing, because everyone, that way it gets all of them on the card, and everyone could obviously have a thing to see how they do that, or if they don't do that, if they just go with the SmackDown team or a Raw team. But I think they need more talent in that division instead of just throwing people around. That's just me though, and I'm just tired of Reginald, so please God, just don't let me see any more of that. And when it comes down to the main event, for me, the one that's going, we all know it, Edge, Reigns. I'm pretty positive we can all agree that Bryan's going to get thrown into it. And it'll be a hell of a match. We got to see how they're going to play all that. I hope they at least put Bryan in there. Keep Jay away and just let the three of them go at it, because that could be gold. Especially in front of people. Like, Edge finally gets his moment, which he hasn't had since the the Rumble, all, last year. Like, and Bryan, because everything winding down, Roman's going to be the guy for a while. If he keeps this character, he can be the guy for a while, and he deserves to be the guy for a while, because this is way better than, them trying to just force him down everyone's throat as a good guy, because no one gave a damn and no one liked him. It was never going to work that way, so this is good. But I want to see how they're going to play, figure all that in. But, if Daniel isn't in the main event somehow, like, I think they dropped the ball big on that one. So, see how all that works out. But, yeah, again, it's under Wrestling with Ski, under Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, on Spotify if you want to listen to it there, so you can catch up to everything. There's only 2 episodes that aren't on there on Spotify. And Rumble, Google Podcast, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Public Radio, or sorry, Radio Public. You know, there's two that I have to re-record because they were too long, so they wouldn't upload. So I'm gonna have to redo those. But the whole rest of all the episodes are all on all those other platforms for your listening pleasure. If you don't want to stare at this mug, but like, comment, share, tell people, get the word around. Yeah, it helps everyone that actually does listen and like it if more people know about it. So do all that. Tell me what you think. Now you can tell me that my predictions suck or what I think sucks, but we'll see. Let's see what happens, and we'll get to talk about it tomorrow. So be good, enjoy your day, take care of one another, and don't miss Smackdown. And until tomorrow, my friends, peace.